Hello, welcome to the Smidgen PC review of the Lenovo Z560 multimedia laptop. This is a new laptop from Lenovo. Just has debuted within the last few months. It is a 15.6-inch laptop and is considered a multimedia laptop by Lenovo. So it is meant to be sort of an all-purpose laptop that can also do some entertainment, play some HD video, that sort of thing. So it's pretty much your standard size for a 15.6-inch display laptop. It's about 1.4 inches throughout most of the chassis, and it's about 5.7 pounds. So this isn't a particularly light laptop, but it's not a particularly heavy one either. So it sort of falls in between, sort of as a compromise between very high, very large size, higher weight, and then on the other end it's a compromise between that and the ultra-portable laptops. This model right here has a Core i3 processor, 2.26 gigahertz, 3 gigabytes of RAM, 320 gigabyte hard drive. It's got Bluetooth, has HDMI out, has some pretty decent speakers. They're called Dolby. They have a Dolby Digital branding, which most speakers these days do. There's just fairly decent speakers all around. So let's take a closer look at the Z560. Look at some of the keyboard, the trackpad, and the performance and etc. to see if it can really compete in this competitive multimedia laptop market. So, as we look at the Z560 from the top here, we see that the lid has a glossy black design. That's the only color that it comes in currently, unfortunately. Lenovo's had some pretty cool looking laptops lately, but this one just is available in regular old black, and of course being glossy, it's a huge fingerprint magnet. I have hold of it right here to put it on the floor, and you can see my greasy thumbprints all over that thing. So that's pretty much what it's going to look like from day to day if you buy this laptop. It's not the best thing in the world, but we open it up here. It is rather easy to open with one hand. We have a slightly better picture. It's still not the most attractive thing in the world. You've got lots of brushed aluminum, this silver and gray and black. It's very dour, dull, whatever. Not something that's very exciting. If you're looking for a laptop to take to college and you want to impress your friends or something, this is probably not the laptop to do it. But if you just want something that's very functional, this is actually a great laptop because this brushed aluminum finish all around here is very, not only very attractive, but it feels great on your hands when you're using the laptop. You don't have too much sweaty palm syndrome from cheap plastics or sort of rubberized plastics you sometimes see on laptops. The trackpad is quite awesome. At first I was skeptical because it's pretty textured, but I found that having used it for a while, the texture to it actually gives a really good sense of where your finger is while you're using it. The buttons feel a little cheap, but that's okay for a laptop of this sort. The keyboard is excellent. Actually, if this keyboard was on a ThinkPad 3 years ago, I don't think it would feel too out of place. Besides the format of it, the actual feel, there's very little flex. I'm gonna get in close here and just pressing really, really hard on the laptop, and there's not any flex in the keyboard there. That's good. That's very good. There's a good response, good travel when you use the keys. So in terms of the user interface and inputs, everything is pretty good on this laptop. Unfortunately, the display is not as good as the keyboard and trackpad is. The resolution's 1366 by 768, which is fairly typical for a 15.6-inch laptop these days, unfortunately, because really that's not a very high resolution for a display this large on a laptop. In fact, I found that the resolution on this display was low enough that on a white web page I could see the screen door effect. And the screen door effect, if you're not familiar, is caused by having relatively large pixels on a display. You can start to see where the different pixels are, sort of, and it creates an effect as if you were looking at your display through a screen door. It's not the best thing in the world. With that said, you do have to kind of put up with that with a lot of laptops in this range of 15.6-inch laptops, so it's sort of something that's unavoidable. Also unavoidable are poor viewing angles. That's something that I really wish would be addressed in multimedia laptops, because this laptop, for example, is supposed to be able to play high-definition video, and indeed it can, as we'll discuss in the performance section. But if you want to watch it with your friends, it can be a real pain in the butt because of the viewing angles. Things get washed out very, very easily if you move from left to right or up or down. The overall performance of the Z560 is pretty good. It has a Core i3 processor, which means that in terms of overall power, it's more than adequate for day-to-day use and then some. It has Intel HD graphics. Now, when it comes to 3D graphics, such as 3D Mark 06 here, it's not the best. Definitely not the best. That's always been the case with Intel HD graphics. That remains the case now. If you want to game at any respectable speed, this is not going to do it. But if you want to watch HD video, it works just fine. Some of the higher-end models, I believe, have Blu-ray options, and this one does not, so I haven't been able to test that, but I don't see any reason why it wouldn't run that. When you combine a Core i3 processor, which is already powerful, with Intel HD graphics, which have been sort of specifically tailored for HD video, you're probably going to have no problem running it at all. So in that case, you know, it is a pretty good multimedia laptop. It'll do all the HD video things that you want it to. The only issue I have with it as far as a multimedia laptop is that it would be nice to see some dedicated multimedia keys here. We got the deal where you can press function and then fast forward, stop, whatever. But I would have liked seeing something a little bit more dedicated there, or more interesting, I guess. But more good news is in the form of the speakers. They are quite good. They definitely do their job. I'm just going to play a sample track here from Windows. You can hear it for just a second. See what the speakers sound like. So they sound just fine, and they get loud enough to fill a room, but not something that you're going to have a house party with for sure. Now, in terms of battery life, you're not going to get very good battery life out of the Z560. Probably about 3 hours in real world usage. You know, the Core i3 processor is not that draining on power, but the 6-cell battery that's included is a smaller 6-cell battery, so 3 hours is about all you'll get away from the power socket. Unless you're using very, very conservative settings, no Wi-Fi, that sort of stuff. As far as heat goes, the laptop stays extremely, extremely cool. It's great in that regard. But there is a penalty in terms of the fan, which seems to spin almost constantly, and it's a little bit louder than I would like to see. But overall, the Lenovo Z560 is a pretty good laptop. The thing to remember is that this is a $700 laptop. And for Core i3 processors, you know, generally you're looking at laptops that are feeling a little bit cheap when you look at a lot of competitors like Toshiba, HP. Not to say that those are necessarily bad laptops, but the feel of them isn't the greatest. But the build quality here is really great because you have an excellent trackpad and an excellent keyboard. And then this aluminum here. So when you're using the Z560, it feels like a nice product. It feels like something you're glad that you spent $700 on. So overall, I give it a big thumbs up. Not quite 2 thumbs up because of the fan and because of the display. But if you're interested in a multimedia laptop, this is one that you should look at.